my job as Director of Educational Outreach was to take the survivors' legacy and pass it along to students and teachers. And we did that in different ways. We had a speakers bureau where we had about 18,000 people who heard the survivors every year. We had a Teachers Institute every year where we taught teachers how to teach the Holocaust. And then we did student programs called Student Awareness Days. And that was the program that I actually began when I started there. These programs had anywhere from 250 students to the last program I did was 850 students at Broward Convention Center. So it was 10 students to one survivor and one facilitator at every table. And we would introduce the antecedents to the Holocaust, show a video of, it was letters and diaries from students, from children during the Holocaust. And then we would have a survivor get up and speak to the whole audience. And usually it was a Holocaust camp survivor because students are most interested in that. And then in the afternoon, we would shift the focus. Oh, and then in the morning after that, we would let the students talk to the survivors and ask them any questions they wanted. And these were survivors I worked with and knew close to at least 500 survivors. I mean, for 26 years, I really learned a lot from them and had the great privilege of talking to them and working with them. In the afternoon, we would shift the focus and we'd say, okay, so when these survivors were teenagers, just like you, and we also worked, we did symposiums at FIU, at Miami-Dade, at St. Thomas. We would say they were teenagers just like you. You know, they had the same hopes and dreams and they read books and played with their friends and whatever. And all of a sudden, because of prejudice, their lives changed. So what's going on in your life? What are you experiencing in terms of prejudice? And, you know, in Dade County and Broward County and Palm Beach County, it's a mixture. So we had at any given table, a huge mixture of ethnicities, different races, all kind, you know, one program we had 2 skinheads. And so the students related to the survivors because they suddenly weren't an old man and woman sitting at their table, but they saw them as teenagers. And the conversation was really deep. And the students began to understand the dangers of prejudice on a very personal level because they were experiencing it themselves. So those were very powerful programs. And we did anywhere from 10 to 12 a year. The last program I did was 850 students with 85 survivors, 85 facilitators, and at least 85 teachers. It was huge and it was incredible. Just so special. We also had a woman who had been a skinhead who had left the movement, and one of her college professors had brought her to us and asked us to give her a chance. And we literally grilled her for 3 hours and realized that she really was remorseful and she was ready to share her experience. And so she would also talk to the students about her experience. We always had someone speaking about prejudice as well at these programs.